Welcome back to Gordon, ladies and gentlemen. The third period action here between Berwick Academy, the Bulldogs, and St. Paul's School, the Big Red. It's 3-2 St. Paul's. They led 2-1 after one and got a goal from JT Halliday in the second to make it 3-1. But the big man for Berwick, Tyler Golan, answered on the power play. And that's where we stand, 3-2 after two, with Berwick looking to come back and make it their 11th victory of the season. They're going to lean on number 8, Golan. He is their career leading scorer as the school record with 111 points, more than that now. He's also had to set the school assists record previous to that, and he's about 8 games away from setting the school games played record as well. There are 11 more on the on the schedule as Berwick's called for icing right off the bat here. 11 more games on the schedule, so he will achieve that mark, and he'll likely achieve the goals record as well. He's 6 goals shy of that, so he will be the all-time record holder in pretty much everything in Berwick history. Tyler Golan will be. And so you're watching a skating piece of history out there right now, and he's looking to make his mark for the Bulldogs, who trail 3-2. St. Paul's looking to make that margin 4. It's been a little chippy on the Berwick side tonight. They've been trying to get St. Paul's mixed up, but the Big Red have done a good job of dousing the fire just about as it's set to begin. They've been a better team in the game, no doubt about it. They've outshot Berwick 31-16 at this point. Shots in the second were 13-11, so slightly closer, although the possession time, I can assure you, wasn't that close. Both teams have a goal on the power play. The difference maker is St. Paul's 2 at even strength. Also put the puck back in deep. Miscommunication there by St. Paul's on who was going to take it. So it ends up being the Bulldogs up the wall, and they will get it out to center. On the receiving end of the hit there was White as the puck works in the offensive end, but not for long. Back the other way, here comes Schubert taking it from Sullivan. Schubert trying to leave it for Sullivan, and that never really worked out. Sullivan gets collapsed on the wall. It's back for Howard at the line with a shot. Rebound there. They score! Joe Schubert, second of the game, and an early marker has put St. Paul's up 4-2. His 11th goal of the year and the second of the game. Good job by Howden to put the puck to the net. Not a particularly hard shot, but a really good one on the part of Halliday because it was tough to control for the goaltender Ramsey. And that rebound squirted loose. Ramsey was down and out, as he has been on pretty much all the goals so far for St. Paul's. And a big one there to start the period as the St. Paul's school. St. Paul's has opened up a 2-goal margin again, and that's ever important. Especially in a game where you're the better team. If you keep it at 1 goal, you're flirting with danger. At least that's the way I see it. Here's Stathheim coming across the middle. He was knocked down. Golan looking to go the other way, but a good stick check there by Culver to impede him at the line. Sorry, that wasn't Golan, that was O'Brien. He tossed it over for Golan on the far side. And he had his stick all tied up. St. Paul's working the other way. Could be a 3-on-2. Cox jumping up in the rush. Here's Sweet. Sweet across. Went off a stick. Found its way to Cox eventually. He'll backhand one back in low for Stathheim. When Stathheim double teamed in low, O'Brien was on him, but he still keeps going! Threw the puck at the front of the net, and nobody was able to get a stick on it for St. Paul's. Rustling that puck out to center was James. I think he was looking around for a penalty call. He allowed Berwick to change there. He got the puck deep, but it's right back in the Bulldog end right now. It loops up through the rafters. Doesn't hit the rafters, it just goes through them and we play on. Sometimes people stop playing, and it's a mistake some of the opposing teams make. Unless it hits the roof, it's still in play. A little quirks here about Gordon Rink and a cool roof with the rafters. More often than not, it does hit something. But a few times, it doesn't. Owen Cannon will shoot the puck into the St. Paul's end. The back four here is Frechette. Frechette being tracked down over there on the right side by Dowd. He couldn't get him. Frechette is still going across the tops of the circles. On the outside, he'll peel back now with it. Fence it back in low for Frechette. Two brothers have connected a few times so far. Here's Sweet looking for Levine, who was stepping down the right side. And the pass was picked off there by Dowd. Good read on his part. They'll go off for a change now. Cole Ronick up on the forecheck. Frechette back off the boards. Not a good hop for St. Paul's as Gollin will take over. A couple nice moves at center. Here goes Tyler Gollin into the zone with it. He'll go behind the cage, looking to toss one back to the back door, but never really made it there. Seibold is bumped then by Gollin. It bounces up off the dasher. Levine for Frechette up the near side. It missed him, and it's going to go all the way down the ice. Icing against St. Paul's. Not something we've seen too much tonight. As the Big Red haven't really been pent up on their own end as much as they were there. Only a few shifts or so. Offensive zone draw here for Berwick. They've been opportunistic when they've had their chances. The Bulldogs have. Face off to the right of Charlie Murphy. The draw cycled in deep. Owen Sweet cutting it off there. He takes a bump and lost his balance. Up the boards for Frechette. Picked away from him here by Gollin. He'll cut to the middle. Little move. Gollin trying to get to his forehand. He does. A nice little stick bounce move there. I don't know even what to call that. He bounced it up over the stick of a St. Paul's player. He ended up losing it because they put the puck on edge. Berwick showing a bit of life. They're down 2 right now. It's been after their goals where they've been at their best. Here's Seibold. Trying to get on the right side. He was torn down there. By the back check, I think that was O'Brien. Muse. We'll pick it up. Berwick. They could get one here. I said before the halfway point, that one goes up off the Raptors like I was talking about. A thunk. Sometimes you hear a clang, and that means it went off the metal. I said metal clamps. I don't know what to call them. I'm not an architect. But it's an all-wood roof, and those Raptors going across are wood, too. They have some metal pipes, of course, and parts, but it's not all metal. That was just a fun. Right on cue. Not maybe right on cue, but just about. Here's Russell working and tossed it back to the middle. And it just missed Cooper Flinton going to the goal there. Flinton hits his man hard, but the Bulldogs are out to center. Russell finishing a check, too. Jeff Darno over there on the Berwick bench pointing to his head. I think he's trying to tell the officials that maybe a hit to the head, another big hit late in there. This game getting a little physical right now. As Russell and Flinton were laying some hard checks. It pops up in the air here. Darno may have a case there. Here's Halliday going through. It bounces over to the left side after he was stopped by Ramsey. Schubert picking up. Here's Flinton. Score! Oh my goodness! Crossbar down. It's 5-2. That's a goaltender's nightmare. Schubert found him alone in the slot, and that is goalies beware. There's Stathheim coming through. He missed the goal line. That was nearly 6. The first 3-goal lead of the night for St. Paul's, and they worked for that one. Flinton hasn't been all around the net tonight, but he laid a few good hits on that shift, got himself involved, and found himself open in the slot. And he had plenty of time to tee up a shot that's becoming well known. Harrison Sweet picking it up here. He'll find Cade Cox. Cox stops at the circle. He was Culver in the middle, and a save is made by Ramsey. That shot becoming known, and that's why he can put it by a goaltender clean. Don't make a mistake, folks. Ramsey was ready for that one. He knew it was coming. It didn't matter. Just an exhilarating. When a guy shoots the puck, shots happen a lot in a hockey game, obviously. When a guy shoots a puck and you go, whoa, that, makes you go, whoa. That's a pretty good shot. As Flinton's was there. That was my reaction. Like, oh. It's 5-2. Back on this puck is Cox. Long stretch pass. Caught up in the legs there of Culver at the line. Berwick turning things the other way. Trickled just ahead of Golan there through the middle. It'll go up off of Rapture again. This one went off the glass and came hot off that glass. And with a thunk, it's out of play. Berwick still no shots here in this third period. We're about 7 minutes in. After they only had 5 shots in the first. I thought they had less in the second. They actually had more. They got back into it. They had 11 in the second period. Much due to the late surge. Earlier, it was not many shots. But they've been held off the shot sheet, if you will. Shout out to Logan Gamlin, who's been my assistant this season, taking shots. He's been not my right-hand man, he's my left-hand man because he's off to my left right now. And whenever I needed that shot number, he's been right there and right on it. So huge shout out and a huge thanks to him. There's going to be a penalty assessed to the Bulldogs here, I think. As Frechette was kind of getting buried over there on the half wall. And it is going to be a tripping minor. Assessed to Tyler Shelgren, his second penalty of the game. St. Paul's does have a power play goal. They're looked pretty good, I gotta say. Their first power play was better than their second. That was only because the second power play only lasted about 12 seconds or so. Or they found the back of the net. It's down the ice here, and Cox having some trouble. As Carson James was right on him, and James still wreaking havoc in behind the goal. He stripped Jack Hepp of it. Tried to center, but it was intercepted there by Cox, who closed him out and will take it the other way. Cox makes the entry. He'll slide it on around. Schubert catching up to it in below the goal line. Couldn't peel it away from a good stick there of O'Brien. Now they'll get set up. It's Halliday behind the goal. 1:18 left to go in the man advantage, and Owen Sweet has it at the face-off circle. Sweet, Halliday cutting back towards the middle. It ran off of his stick. Off the glass, kicked in the middle there by Sweet and out. This could be a 2-1-1 for Berwick if they get it together. Golan's the man on the left side. They couldn't get the puck to him. Coming down on the right was Carson James. And now here comes St. Paul's. They can have an odd man rush. Halliday had it come ahead of him, but now he'll drop it off. In the middle is Hepp, and he's stopped by Ramsey. After Halliday moved it to Sweet at the face-off circle. 45 seconds left to go in the minor for Shelgren. Halliday settling things down here on the power play for St. Paul's. This unit's been out there the entire time. It's Russell. Saucer pass. Halliday cycling at the circle. Sweet back for Halliday in the middle. They tried the give and go. Hepp will find it after the pass was telegraphed. Here's Schubert. He's going to load up a drive, and it was stopped by Ramsey. The rebound to Halliday. He'll find Sweet in front. Is Schubert calling for it? It was knocked away. Back to the line. Russell. Are back to 5-a-side in 10 seconds. St. Paul's has started to change. It's Schubert. They only have 4 guys in the offensive zone. Pardon me. Clinton's over the bench, and the puck just nicked away from his stick. Charlie Murphy taps this down. The power play is over. Halliday goes hard on the boards, but finding it is Flinton. He couldn't move it to Russell. It was stretching out that left side. Going across the line here, but they are off the side. And two Berwick players ran into each other, and not so much the ire, but more the, I don't know what you call a sarcastic cheer. There's a word for it. The jeers. That's what it is. It draws the jeers of the St. Paul's students in attendance. 8 minutes left to go. St. Paul's up 5-2. They have 2 here in the third. Bryson Russell's back on it. Pass over on the right side is the head of Frechette, who's trying to track it down. Nearly tied up the stick there. Michael O'Brien going back. O'Brien was stripped by Seibold. Maybe not stripped because he never really had possession of the puck. Berwick going the other way down. With a step here is Patrick Condon on the left side. Condon Stops as he hits the goal line. Still stopping and starting, trying to get around Sullivan. A nice stop there on the half wall. Just held onto the puck long enough to cycle it down behind the goal for Shane White, who couldn't pick it up. And now the Big Red will charge away at Seibold in front of the Berwick bench. Seibold finding Russell. Bryson Russell is stopped by Ramsey there on the far post. Seibold pinned now by O'Brien in the far corner. 7:20 on the clock. St. Paul's working in the offensive zone. Frechette check, lost the puck, gets out to center. Russell for Sullivan. Sullivan for Flinton, coming through neutral territory. Cooper Flinton waits on the shot, trying to find Seibold, who couldn't drag that one to the goal. He was in too tight quarters. Banged down there by Berwick. They're executing a change, and St. Paul's will start to do the same as Frechette tips it into the zone. Shelgren from behind his own nets. Moved it quickly up the wall. Levine interfering, not in a penalty sense, but he got in the way there of McSorley. He couldn't catch the pass. Unable to catch the pass for St. Paul's is Charles Culver, and I think is a call. Yeah. St. Paul's with 1-0 after really dominating the opening minutes. Berwick answered on probably what was one of their first shots of the game, right after St. Paul scored. And it seems like it was going to be a familiar story for the Big Red. But they held strong and potted one late in the first. We'll take a 2-1 lead into the omission. We're at 5-2 now. There's Harrison Sweet for Frechette. Frechette now for Stadheim. Across the line in transition here is Sweet. He shoots, and it was the goal wide. Ramsey's been busy between the pipes for Berwick. He's used to that. The Bulldogs tend to be outshot, and they've been getting wins that way. 7-2-1 in their last 10, but down 3 goals here. They will need quite an effort. Sweet, a long drive that goes up off the pad of Ramsey and out of play. St. Paul's has gotten 2 goals from Joe Schubert, who has been, at least for the season he's had, I think rather quiet the last couple of games. But it's nice for the Big Red to get him going. Yeah. Holiday has a marker. Flinton has a marker. And Frechette has a goal as well. Tapped out there by Shane White. It's worked deep in the St. Paul's end. Cox around the goal, connecting right there with Joe Schubert, and he'll start across the red and then the blue. He's got Richard with a man. Cox, the late trailer. He's stopped by Ramsey. And looking in front there for that hat-trick rebound was Joe Schubert. He's gotten all his goals tonight. Gotten all his goals tonight in front of the net there. Maybe that's why Cox didn't pass it to him and shot for a rebound instead, although Schubert would have liked to have that puck on his stick if he saw by his reaction there. Giving Cox a hard time for that decision. Schubert laid it off. Here's Hep leaning into a shot, and it was stopped by Ramsey. Standing in front was Richard. Schubert closes his man out, keeps the puck in the zone as Owen Sweet picks it up. He stops in below the goal line, comes up to the half wall, finding Schubert in low. Joe Schubert for Richard. Richard now. Schubert shoots. Stopped by Ramsey. You'll see him pull some triggers, I'm sure. Doesn't have a hat trick in his career here at St. Paul's. I'm sure you'll see him shooting the puck when he is on the ice for the next 5 minutes. And the St. Paul's boys will be trying to get it to him too. There he is. Across the blue line. Shifting gears to the right side. Tapped it off there for Richard. Berwick player came back and intercepted it back out to center here. And Russell will re-corral. Hep has his stick open and ready and will receive the pass and move with it. Jack Hep across the blue line, charging right down the middle, a little backhander. Turned aside there by Ramsey. He'll now go off for a change. Not Ramsey, but Hep. Puck caught up in some feet, and now the Bulldogs will give it a go here. Chance for an odd man rush if they hustle. That one back to the front. That was down going to the front of the net there. And he might have had Murphy had he been able to get a stick on the puck. Every time that Berwick's had an on-man rush, St. Paul's counter was just the same pretty much. And they had a 4-on-2 right there. Seibold now rounding in front with a trigger pull. That was blocked aside, came right to Cooper Flinton. Flinton out high, still going with it at the circle, and the shot went off a stick and out of play. St. Paul's has done a good job of neutralizing that Berwick attack when it is an odd man rush. Although they have been dangerous on their odd man rushes tonight, I will say. A very opportunistic team, Berwick. And they've made good on their opportunities tonight, just not enough. Down 5-2. With 3:43 remaining here in the hockey game. It's chased out to center, and getting on this puck is James. Burke James, and he's stopped by Murphy. He cut right in around the St. Paul's defense on that loose puck, and Charlie Murphy, who's only seen one shot prior to that one this period, had to be sharp and made a good save. Now it's Seibold leaving it. Comes back here for Bryson Russell, stepping in from the line. 3 minutes left to go. In front is Frechette, and it went through his legs. Comes out for Sullivan. Jake Sullivan switching spots there with Cooper Flinton. He walks right down the middle. Tap to the outside. Russell had to reverse directions there. Give and go between Frechette and Russell, and now it's Sullivan. The shot went off a stick and wide. Comes off the boards. Tied up is Frechette. Seibold finds it. St. Paul's getting into the groove. Intercepted there at the side there by Owen Cannon, and then rifled up and on a play. So a stoppage with 2:53 on the clock. If you're wondering about what's next for these two schools, well, we'll go have a quick turnaround. They will play Friday at home against Hebron. Another Battle of Maine game for the Bulldogs. They are 5-0 against Maine teams so far this season. I think they've already beaten Hebron once. That puck dangerously in front. Levine a tap. Ramsey tracking it, and he'll come over on the near post to cover up. They're 5-0, yes, versus Maine teams. They'll play another one, looking to improve to 6-0. They came close to losing versus Kents Hill. That was their last game. Well, no, it was a few games ago. They defeated Kents Hill in overtime. That was their closest loss, I think. And St. Paul's will host their old ISL foe and perennial rival in Belmont Hill here at Gordon Rink, which will be a fun one. It's always fun when St. Paul's and Belmont Hill meet, as they have so much history in that matchup. And we'll talk a lot about that on the broadcast for sure, because it's certainly a fun history between those two schools. They see a lot of each other. It's 2-on-1 for Berwick here. The shot scores! Patrick Condon closes the lead to 2 as he beats Charlie Murphy clean on the far side. 5-3. I was just about to go on and talk about how much fun it'll be with Belmont Hill here on Saturday, and Berwick's like, no, still talking about us. As Condon makes this a 2-goal game with 2 minutes left to go. We'll see what the Bulldogs can do here. They've come back on St. Paul's before. They've never finished a comeback, though. 1-0-1 versus the Big Red all time. They've never beaten St. Paul's, but again, small sample size with only 2 minutes. Moving here is Gollin. Tyler Gollin below the goal line. He needs to pot one to make this a 1-goal game with under 2 minutes left to go. Berwick 10-7, looking for that 11th victory, but they trail. The shot from the line there blocked by Colin Richard. Berwick's been at their best after they've scored. I mentioned that already, so we'll see what they can do. Holiday, a little spin-a-rama to knock it out. James will come back for it. The goal is empty. Ramsey out of his net, and Holiday sees that. He's up tenaciously on the forecheck. Richard doing a good job in below the goal line, too. Berwick needs 2 goals. And the net is empty. 6 attackers against 5, and working forward is Dowd. Tipped into the zone there by Carson James. Torn down is Cox on the far side. A minute left to play. St. Paul's 5, Berwick 3. Behind the net here is Dowd. He tried to stuff it in front, was blocked aside. Comes to the boards. Shot deflected. O'Brien let it go, and it's up and out of play. Remember, Berwick's already used their timeout here in the hockey game. They used it in the second period, down 3-1. Yeah, they used it down in the second period, down 3-1 to get that second period power play goal. Footen will find the puck. He's got Culver and Sweet out at center, but they couldn't clear the zone. St. Paul's had to get back. They had stretched things for a minute. Berwick gets us up, goal in front, and it went off the stick of the intended target. 27 seconds left to play. Keeping it as O'Brien is a line. Laying out his Russell, and he'll tip it to neutral territory. Culver aggressive there. He kept the Berwick defenseman back out in neutral territory. We're down to 20 seconds left. St. Paul's up 5-3. And looking to get their second consecutive victory as Golan goes down. 6 seconds left. The length of the ice here. It'll miss wide of the cage, and they'll stop it with 2.5 seconds on the clock. So Berwick will move on to Hebron on Friday, and if this result holds, which likely it will, it'll drop to 10-8 on the year. As the crowd is on its way out. St. Paul's victorious tonight. A second consecutive victory. And they move to 8-10 on the year. They hit 500 on home ice. Their third home ice victory. 3-3. Their record here at Gordon. They'll be back here on Saturday against Belmont Hill, a big one. And we'll see what happens. But for now, I'm so glad you joined us. Joe Schubert had 2 goals for St. Paul's. They defeat Berwick 5-3, your final. We'll see you Saturday. My name's Ryan Murphy, signing off from Concord.